What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 54 Yards, and today I'm going to talk about all the elite quarterbacks that are going to be coming to the Pac-12 and why the Pac-12 should be the conference you guys are all tuning into next year. Can't wait to share this with y'all. So, we're going to start it off with Colorado. Everybody's been buzzing about Colorado, Coach Prime, everything they got in store with Coach Prime, and what they're going to be doing up in Boulder next year. But it all starts with the guy at quarterback who is also Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders. Now, if you guys don't know about Shedeur Sanders, he was a highly rated recruit out of Dallas, the Dallas area, and he was initially committed to Florida Atlantic. He committed there because Lane Kiffin was there at the time. If you guys don't know who Lane Kiffin is, he is now at Ole Miss as the head coach there. And, you know, guys, Ole Miss has been doing a really good job, and they've been a really good contender in the SEC. So that's, that's high praise to be able to go to a school like that, and also for Shedeur to be committed there. But Shedeur, he's supposed to be a staple piece at Colorado, maybe get Colorado kind of over that hump, be that key foundational building block for Colorado to really exceed in the Pac-12. And man, he's a baller. His stats, 3,732 yards, 40 touchdowns with only 6 picks. So, he takes care of the football. He doesn't turn it over. And he also had 6 rushing touchdowns to go along with that. So look for him to, be, very capable at this level. My only concerns for Shedeur is obviously he's going to be going from HBCU level to Power 5. And when he's at Jackson State, his team was significantly more talented than the other teams. So now, even with the recruits that Deion will be able to bring to Colorado, everyone will be on the same playing field. So, in turn, will this really affect him? I'm not too sure. I think obviously he'll have the weapons there. Travis Hunter just recently committed there. They're getting in the guys from the portal, so he should have the weapons, but we're not too sure. He's also going to have Kent State's offensive coordinator there, who, if you guys don't know, Kent State had one of the 5th or 4th best offense in the whole country, playing out of the MAC conference. And, he was a head coach. So for him going from a head coach to be the OC at Colorado kind of shows a coach's belief in Deion and what he's got going on. We're obviously going to go over to Southern California and talk about Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley. Obviously, Caleb Williams was phenomenal. He won the Heisman Trophy this year. He threw for 4,075 yards, 37 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, and he had 10 rushing touchdowns. So he was a shot under 50 total touchdowns. And if you guys don't know about Caleb Williams, he's complete. Easily going to be the number 1 overall pick the following year after this. Super complete player. He's going to have USC is going to be highly ranked next year, probably in the top 4 or 5 easily. And he's going to he already himself makes his conference very entertaining to watch. So Shedeur is definitely going to help elevate that as well with Caleb. Now we're going to talk about Cameron Ward, who's someone you guys might not know of unless you're an avid college football fan. He was a starter at Washington State, ended up transferring last year from Incarnate Word, and he had 3,231 yards, 23 touchdowns, 9 interceptions with 5 rushing touchdowns. Dude is a baller. I mean, he gets it done. Very, very quietly underrated, very good athlete, very accurate. He's playing at Washington State, so his weapons aren't going to be as good as some of these other teams in the conference, but man, he's really capable of getting it done. I like his game. He had Washington State off to a good start at the beginning of last year, won the first 3 games, and yeah, he's just complete. He's going to be just another QB you got to face that if you're not paying attention, if you're not focused, you're not ready for that game, he will light you up. He will light you up. Now we got Bo Nix, who actually, surprisingly to everybody, recently decided to come back to Oregon. Bo Nix was a recent 5-star quarterback that played at Auburn previously, and he ended up transferring to Oregon and had a crazy year. After the stinker they played against Georgia, he lit it up the rest of the season. I mean, stats, he threw for 3,389 touchdowns. He had 27 passing touchdowns with 6 picks, but he also had 14 rushing touchdowns to go along with it. And I think he had like 2 or 3 receiving touchdowns that you guys could sprinkle in there. Man, he's got it, man. I've always kind of been a fan of Bo Nix. I definitely think at Auburn at times he got the short end of the stick. I don't think they used him to his appropriate ability. And it shows that this previous year that he was able to deliver with Oregon, albeit not in the SEC, he was still able to put up phenomenal numbers and do extremely well. Now we got Michael Penix Jr., Washington's quarterback. Now, this is a kid I really like. He was another transfer from the University of Indiana. He threw for 4,354 yards and 29 touchdowns with 7 picks. Oh man, he also had 4 rushing touchdowns to add on the ground. But if you guys want to really get an idea of his tape, he's gonna, he throws the ball phenomenal. I mean, if you watch the Oregon game, he's throwing balls on a rope, on a line, hitting post shots, all of it. He's got a complete arsenal. His arm's really strong. He's going to be, in my opinion, a dark horse Heisman contender next year, depending on who Washington can beat and who they can retain to help him. But he's very, very good. I really like his decision making. I really like his thought process with getting the ball out, his quick decisions, his reads, all that stuff. I'm actually going to go see him in person this week. Thursday, they play at the University of Texas in San Antonio at the Alamo Bowl. So it'll be good to see him in person and kind of really evaluate it for myself. Now we got some of the biggest news. DJ Uiagalelei, he just recently transferred from Clemson. His actual little brother just just committed to the University of Oregon. And DJ Uiagalelei just transferred to Oregon State. This kid has had a lot of scrutiny. He was a highly rated 5-star at a St. John Bosco, I believe. I think it was the number 1 pocket passer at the time. Committed to Clemson when Trevor Lawrence was there. During the COVID year, Trevor Lawrence, I think, got hurt or suspended. No, I think he got COVID when they played Notre Dame, when Notre Dame was playing in the ACC. And DJ Uiagalelei played really well in that game. I think he threw for like 400 yards, balled out, really, really put it on display, in my opinion. And, everybody had high hopes for him after that. The following year at Clemson, I think Clemson went 9-3, won the Cheez-It Bowl against Iowa State. He actually didn't play bad, but for Clemson standards, he was kind of what was holding them back from them making a push to the playoffs. I don't even think they won the ACC that year. I think Pitt won it. I think Pitt won it. So, that was a big factor for, just kind of like going into this year and his transferring. Cade Klubnik, who was out of Westlake, another 5-star quarterback, ended up coming to Clemson this year. And there was initial push for DJ to maybe lose his job. He came in against Georgia Tech at the end of the game, even though Clemson had that game wrapped up, and kind of handled them. He looked really good. And DJ ended up kind of playing pretty poorly down the stretch. Games against Syracuse kind of ring a bell. Games against South Carolina, where he just kind of left his team out to dry. Against Notre Dame, he played really, really poorly. Cade Klubnik tried to put Cade Klubnik in, and he ended up throwing a pick 6 on his first throw. But DJ just wasn't the guy. I really think maybe a change of scenery might do it for him down there in Corvallis, Oregon State, who is a decent program, by the way. I think maybe he could, elevate his game there. He's back west, so he's back closer to family. Obviously, he's still got to go against his little brother now, but I really like the pickup for Oregon State, and he's obviously going to make this conference exciting to watch. He's another 5-star quarterback, bounced back to Oregon State. He's going to play and start right away, and it's going to make this conference just very top-heavy with elite talent. Jaden Delara. Now, this is a name that a lot of you probably haven't heard of. I really like his game, though, man. He's out of Arizona, and he throws a really pretty football. He threw for 3,685 yards, 25 touchdowns with 13 picks. Obviously, you want the picks to come down maybe to the 10 range or a little bit lower. He also had 4 rushing touchdowns. But, I mean, he's really complete. I think he elevates Arizona, and Arizona's not playing with elite skill level with some of these other schools. So he's really good, in my opinion. I think he's a sneaky, underrated quarterback that can give you some fits if you do not prepare for him. I really like his game and his ability to kind of impact his team and the way he does it. And he probably has 13 picks. When I watched him play against UCLA, dude just looks like a gunslinger. Looks like he just throws it, gets it out quick, and he throws a very accurate football. We're gonna go with Cameron Rising, who, we're gonna talk about Cameron Rising. He just recently won the Pac-12 for 2 years in a row. And if you guys haven't watched him play, man, he's a what I call a gamer. A dude shows up, you're going to get a good performance out of him. He throws really good footballs. He can run the ball. He's a sneaky good athlete. Most recent memory is when they played Ohio State in the Rose Bowl last year. Dude was running all over the field, breaking long runs left and right. Actually had Utah in position to win that game. And I really think he's a really good quarterback, man. I think Utah kind of gets the short end of the stick in some games. They lost to Florida this year, early in the year, week 1. They should have that game under wraps. It looked like they were going to win. They also lost a few just like kind of head scratcher games. They lost to UCLA, and I think they lost to Oregon this year. So they ended up, even with these losses, they ended up still going to the Pac-12 championship and beating USC 2 times in a row, which is very impressive. And I just like his game, man. He ended up originally was committed to Texas, transferred from Texas to Utah. And I really think he's just a competitor, just a kid that has a chip on his shoulder. Very talented. And he threw for 2,939 yards this year, 25 touchdowns, 7 picks, and 6 rushing touchdowns. And obviously his stats might not be as high as some of the other quarterbacks, but Utah is normally a better defensive team, if not the best defensive team normally in the Pac-12. So don't look for that team to get in a whole lot of shootouts, and he doesn't really have to do that. But I think he's definitely very capable. I mean, he went toe-to-toe with CJ Stroud when Jackson Smith and Jigba's coming out party last year against Utah with like over 300 receiving yards. So very talented quarterback. He's going to really obviously he's at the upper echelon of quarterbacks in the Pac-12. Last but not least, I wanted to finish this video off with UCLA. I'm not too sure if DTR is entering the draft. I'm pretty sure he has to because of eligibility reasons. But UCLA, man, they were actually able to flip Dante Moore from Oregon to UCLA, which is, if you guys don't know who Dante Moore is, he's their overall number 3 consensus quarterback in the 2023 247 composite rankings. 6'2", 1.5, 210 pounds. He's from Detroit, Michigan. And, the talent with this dude is very, very immense. If you guys want to check out my reaction to his highlights, we actually did that a couple months back. So make sure you guys find that if you're kind of interested in more of an in-depth, deep dive about him. But regardless if he's good or not, he's definitely going to be must-see TV for UCLA, especially with him flipping. And if they do play Oregon this year, there's going to be, get your popcorn ready for that. There's going to be a lot of drama. Maybe the Oregon coaching staff wants to show him a lesson, kind of say like, hey, like, this is what you got to deal with since you decommitted from us and flip to a school within the conference. But all in all, man, I think he's a good quarterback. I'm really excited to see him play. He's obviously a quarterback in this 2023 class, which is loaded with a lot of talent at that position. So obviously, I think he'll be ready for the task, and hopefully he starts day one at UCLA, and they kind of groom him, and we kind of see him play early and often. But yeah, that's my breakdown of these Pac-12 quarterbacks. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys again for running up the last video we dropped about Oklahoma recruiting. Very love the Oklahoma fan base. I'm a fellow Sooner, as if you guys don't know, but thank you guys for running that video up. It means a lot for us, and we want to keep providing this content for you, and that's what makes it possible. The likes, the subscribes, all that stuff. It makes us motivated to always want to keep delivering this to y'all. But this is another episode. Make sure you guys stay tuned for more content. We'll see y'all next video. Peace.